NCS presents A Great Virtue. Once there was a holy man who lived in a forest. He lived there all alone in a small hut. He was a very kind and noble man. He always liked to help others. One night there came a terrible storm in the forest, followed by heavy rain. The holy man was busy in his work when he heard a knock at the door. He opened the door, and there stood before him a gentleman who spoke to him thus: "Sir, I am a hunter. I came to the forest to hunt, but because of this storm and the heavy rain, it is not possible for me to hunt. I cannot go back either. I am looking for shelter. I shall be grateful if you could let me to spend night here." The pious old man without any hesitation asked him to step in. He gave him a towel to dry himself. He then gave him a cup of hot milk to drink. The hunter looked around. It was a small hut with one small bed. Only one person could sleep on it. "Sir, this is a very small hut, and there is hardly room for two. How are we going to spend the night here, the two of us?" said the hunter. The pious old man said, "You are very simple, true. This hut is small, very small indeed, but if one has the will, one can manage." The hunter was satisfied with this answer. He started drinking his milk. Another knock at the door. This time even louder. The pious old man opened the door. There was a farmer asking for shelter. "Sir, I am a farmer, but in this heavy rain there is not a thing that I can do. I cannot even go home. Could you please give me shelter for the night?" The pious old man allowed the farmer to come in. He offered him a glass of milk. Now, there were 3 men, instead of 2, in the small hut. The farmer was surprised. He said, "Sir, this is a small room. You already have a guest. How are we going to spend the night in the small hut?" The pious old man told the farmer that in case they could not sleep, they could at least stand all night. The weather outside was becoming more harsh. Someone was knocking very hard at the door again. The pious old man moved to open the door. The farmer, however, asked him not to do so. There is hardly any place for the three of us in this room. How could we accommodate any more people? The old man very kind and generous. He could not see people in the trouble. He always ready to share whatever he had with others. He said to the farmer, the weather was bad outside. You wanted shelter. You knocked at the door and I opened it for you. Just imagine what might have happened if I had not allowed you in. The knocking at the door was still going on. The old man did not to hear the farmer anymore and rushed to open the door. This time, there was a mother with her two small kids, shivering in the cold. The old man asked them to come in at once and said to the farmer, "Now see what would have happened with the little kids in the cold, stormy night." The farmer felt guilty and apologized to the holy man. "I am very sorry. Sir, I was selfish. Please forgive me." "I will never say such thing again." The whole crowd spent the stormy night standing in that little hut. They chatted about all sorts of things and praised the kindness of their host. The pious old man set an example of a great virtue to be followed.